Chevy, what are you up to right now, man? You confuse me sometimes, but at the same time, I kind of understand this, but I don't. In case you haven't seen, Jets fans, earlier today when I was at work, on my lunch break at least, I saw from Elliot Friedman breaking it on Twitter that the Winnipeg Jets bought out defensive forwards prospect Joona Luoto's contract. He had 1 year left on his contract, making, I just had it pulled up on my screen, and of course, now is the time when I lose it. Dun, 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 dun. There's his contract. Thank you, Cap Fredley, for deciding to minimize my page. $741,000. That is his cap hit for this year. After that, he was a restricted free agent, and he has been bought out. Now, you might be thinking, just like I was, why? Why out of every player to buy out to create cap space is it Joona Luoto? Now, I'm not mad, because if you guys hadn't seen my prospect ranking tier video, I had Joona Luoto as a C-tier prospect, a guy that had a lot of good defensive skill to his game, but his offensive side of the ice was almost non-existent. So because of that, he didn't have a lot to really warrant a higher rating than a C tier, and I still like Joona Luoto, don't get me wrong, but I just didn't see him as a crucial part of this team moving forward. Now, I've always thought that Joona Luoto had the potential to make this team potentially based off how Paul Maurice likes to use his bottom six, really defensive-minded, not a lot of points. A great example of that is Brendan Tanev. Before Brendan Tanev became that fan favorite, almost every Jets fan hated him because of the fact that he was putting up no points, nothing, barely playing any ice time, and taking him spots over other type of players that they wanted, especially a guy like Nick Petan at the time, and even Marco Dano. But that ended up working out pretty well. He developed nicely, and Joona Luoto could have been that type of situation, but honestly, if you're asking me, I didn't see Joona Luoto really developing into a decent type top six guy, maybe a call-up once in a while. So out of the question that I have to ask is, why buy out Joona Luoto? Because I could end this video right here, right now. It's already 2 minutes in, basically. Joona Luoto's been bought out. We know nothing else. There's been no news. Hell, I haven't even seen the Jets actually release a statement about the buyout up until this point, other than the Elliot Friedman announcement earlier today. So why does Cheveldayoff look at his contracts, look at the cap space? Because, by the way, we have no cap space right now. Cap Friendly right now has the Winnipeg Jets projected for this upcoming season with a cap space of literally zero. We have no cap. So why buy out Joona Luoto? And not to mention, we have a roster size of 23 players. We have the maximum roster size. So why buy him out? The first thing that jumps into my head is Evgeny Svechnikov. Now, if you guys remember, we signed Evgeny Svechnikov to a contract. The only thing is that that contract is an AHL-level contract only. It is not a two-way deal. It is a one-way contract where he can only play on the AHL, and he cannot even sit in the press box. He's an AHL player only, exactly like what we saw with Nathan Todd last year on the Moose. He cannot get called up, even regardless of how great of a season he's having. So, if the Jets want to use Evgeny Svechnikov next season, they need to find a way to get him signed to an NHL-level contract, pay him that extra money on top of what he's already making on that Moose deal, and still have him be on that two-way deal as a type of fringe Moose player that would get the call-up, not a consistent guy on the Jets potentially. So when I look at this, look at the potential roster the Moose will have next year, the guys they've already had drafted this year, Cole Buffetti, all these other type players that will be most likely potentially making the jump to the NHL or not, but either way, definitely be getting some looks. I think that Cheveldayoff is looking at Joona Luoto, seeing that he's most likely, they have a bunch of, a dime a dozens of Joona Luoto when you think about defensive type players in the Moose. I think that this is Kevin Cheveldayoff buying out a player that he doesn't need to help kind of create some type of cap space or some type of roster spot to be able to have Evgeny Svechnikov signed to a two-way contract so that he can actually be able to potentially play with the Winnipeg Jets at some point in the regular season that will be coming up this year. That's just my take. That's my speculation. There's nothing to back that up. But when I look at this move right now, the only other reason I can think of buying out a young prospect, making the league minimum deal you can make on a two-way deal, why not have buy him out, and then bring in a guy like Svechnikov, who's a much better option to have on a two-way contract that actually has NHL experience that can even grow more than what we've seen from him in the NHL. We know that Svechnikov has more to bring at the NHL level. Injuries and not enough given opportunity with Detroit really hammered back his development. So I really am expected to see him get a look with the Jets at some point now, and I think this move kind of just frees up a little bit more space for him to have with the Moose, an easier way to get him signed to a two-way deal. Again, that is just my speculation. The other reason could be that they just don't have a relationship with Joona Luoto that they felt was strong, and maybe he wants to get other opportunities to make the NHL, or maybe he wants to go back to Finland. We don't know that just yet. As it stands right now, that's the information that I can find, and I'm not going to speculate anymore. That's just my opinion as a Jets fan, looking at the situation the Jets are right now. So let me know your thoughts on this whole buyout. Seems very minor, but it could be a small step leading towards a big event coming within the next few weeks, potentially before the start of training camp. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, training camp will be starting next week, if I'm not mistaken, so probably within the next few days, we might even see a move come from this? Who knows? Maybe it's just me speculating. Either way, let me know your thoughts about this move down in the comment section below. If you're a fan of Joona Luoto and you liked his game, let me know one of your favorite memories of him. With all that being said, peace, love, and positivity to all you beautiful people out there in the world. I will see you guys with some more Jets content very, very soon. Stay awesome, guys. I will see you back in some content. Like I said, I'm just repeating myself. But either way, I'm tired from work. My class is starting in half an hour. I got to get out of here. And without any further ado, go Jets, go.